Breaking news. Joel Embiid has a torn meniscus.
Oh,
yeah. Joel Embiid has a torn meniscus. I don't think they've announced which knee it's in.
His left one.
Left knee. Are these the left?
I think it was left. Maybe I hope I didn't get baited.
I'm looking at it now. I'm on Woj. Sixers star Joel Embiid has an injured lateral meniscus in his left knee and will be out through the weekend while a treatment plan is finalized. I don't think we were anybody on this podcast that was laughing and joking and thought he wasn't serious or whatever. But I want to find that clip of him at the Warriors game. Do y'all remember that?
Yeah, when Kuminga. Oh, I thought you meant the Kuminga diving on his knee.
Oh, I was right.
Well, there is that too. Kuminga did dive on his knee, but that's not the one I was talking about. The one the Sage is talking about, where he went to go like contest the jumper and he just couldn't jump.
Everyone was telling me he just didn't look healthy playing out there. So
he ain't look healthy for a minute. I'm not even like pushing cars or anything like that, but like, no, it's been a while. Joel Embiid has clearly not been 100%. Anthony Davis, glad he confirmed it, clearly has not been 100%. There's a lot of things going on right now, but continue because I know you're introducing the topic.
I cannot find this, and maybe somebody just DM'd it to me, but I really want to show the clip where he's trying to jump, and it's just like his legs are just like he's just stuck. Not even that he's stuck in saying he actually falls to the ground because he can't get off the ground. He cannot move. But so, Draymond Green post that game also said that, and I think this is the best. Dude, I didn't see that now, and I didn't want to see that.
I'll admit I didn't see that. I'm laughing out of pure discomfort. Let me be very clear. That is
that's fucked up.
But Draymond has something to say about the 65 game thing and everything like this. And actually, Tyrese Halliburton was the MVP was the smokescreen. The MVP was the smokescreen, but they also talked about it with Tyrese Halliburton too. The MVP was the smokescreen, but Draymond brought up a point that I did not see a lot of people bring up in the 65 game conversation.
Joel playing tonight felt very much so because of the 65 game limit. I think it's actually quite bullshit. Guys didn't face those rules before. But those same all NBA teams, those same MVP awards lists, Defensive Player of the Year, those lists are the same. I once lost a Defensive Player of the Year award to Kawhi Leonard, and I think he played 51 games. In turn, you get Joel, who comes out there tonight, and he forces it. And Freak played with him and JK diving for the ball, but maybe it's not as bad if the knee isn't already banged up. I don't really bang with it. Now we got one of our premier faces in this league, the MVP of our league, possibly hurt for an extended period of time because he's forcing it.
Now, mind you, this is night of.
What was the point that you feel like he brought up that people weren't
talking about the injury? When people talked about the game rule and all this stuff like that, they always talked about the MVP. Oh, we're doing it for the MVP. Are we making an excuse for the MVP? Y'all talking about the 65 game rule being bad because of the award. It was always about the award. To me, nobody ever brought up the injury component. And here's the full. Cruz just sent me the full one. Yeah, nobody ever talked about the injury component. It was always about, if the
whole conversation about load management was injuries. So I don't know.
My
whole thing with this, yeah.
I thought it would be some. I just want to say Draymond lied. Kawhi didn't play 51 games. He played like 70 games that year. So Draymond was just chatting on the mic. 2, let me not even go on a tangent. I'll wait till we start doing individual tangents. Just that point alone. Yeah, I thought that the players being more likely to get injured was synonymous with it because it was combating load management, and people were load managing because they wanted to preserve their bodies for the playoffs. I didn't think it was a need to talk about the likelihood of players getting injured more because this rule was to combat the players that are injury prone.
Well, not getting injured more, but forcing their way back early.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, but again, originally when I heard about the rule, one of my first thoughts, I'm not gonna say the first thought, but one of my first thoughts is, I mean, we're gonna find out if guys actually can go. Because two players I would think of that are on the opposite side of the spectrums as we speak right now of this rule are Kawhi Leonard and Joel Embiid. Kawhi Leonard everyone will tell you he had degenerative knees. Oh, Kawhi can't play more than 55 games because his knees is bad, and he done went to Dr. Zulu in Africa, and he even told him that his knees are bad. Like everyone told you his knees was bad, and he's on pace to play 70-something games this year. No load managing, no taking nights off for the most part. Is he eligible to take nights off? I don't know. The way he's playing,
82, right? AD's playing a
What?
shit ton of games. Anthony Davis, he's barely missed games this year too.
82, but 80's been a guy that typically would play while he's hurt. It's just the injury has to be bad for him to miss time. But I will say you can obviously point to this new rule to him forcing himself to play now. But a guy like Kawhi, I would look at a guy like Kawhi and be like, well, Kawhi is pushing himself through it just fine. And he's not hurt. I'm not gonna say he's not hurt yet, but that's a guy that everyone just knew couldn't play 60 games. And Kawhi is on pace to play 75. Then you have a guy like Joel Embiid, another guy who's done his whole career being injured. We talked about this last pod. Well, we talked about this a previous pod ago. Joel Embiid's only played more than 65 games twice. For the people that are blaming the rule for why he's getting injured, because I've seen that on the timeline, that's what I want to speak on. You niggas are idiots. This rule is not why Joel is hurt. Joel, his entire career has been hurt. Every year of his career, he's been hurt. The man is literally, in no disrespect when I say this, he is injury prone. He is prone to an injury. He's played every playoff series with the injury. He came into the NBA with the injury. He started his career off load managing into an injury. Every year of his MVP season, he played 68 games. There's 82 in the season. Why don't you think he played the rest of those games? He had injuries he was dealing with. Joel, this is not something you can say, oh, he's trying to prove a point, so maybe it made it worse. But Joel's been hurt. He's been hurt. He told you he was hurt. Hell, when niggas was saying he was, and I'm part of niggas was saying he was ducking Jokic in Denver, they said it's because he couldn't jump. Then he goes out and shows you he can't jump. Like, we just seen it. We just seen the clip. He can't jump. Like, I don't think this is the rule is not to blame on why Joel Embiid is hurt right now. That's the dumbest thing I've heard so far since this thing is broken. It's broke like an hour ago. Literally got on the toilet and was scrolling, and I'm seeing people, Steve, man, this is why 65 games is dumb, because it's getting guys injured. No, it's not. This nigga he's been injured. He's always injured. He's never not been. You've never seen Joel Embiid in the NBA not injured, nigga. That's not a thing. I can't blame the rule on something that happens every year of this man's career.
Unironically, if you had to die on the hill of this is the rule causing this, it wouldn't be with Joel Embiid. It would be with a guy like Anthony Davis, who clearly, if you're watching these games, is injured and he's just like thugging it out. But majority of these players, unless I'm tripping, if y'all think I'm tripping, go ahead and get your shit off in the comment section. That's what it's there for. But from what I'm seeing, a lot of the time, it's only been a thing for players who are actively chasing these awards, but players that are not A, necessarily caring about these awards, or B, looking past the bigger picture. I'm not really concerned about these things. Now, I'm not just trying to use this as a weird way to hate on Joel Embiid, but what I am saying is it's a franchise responsibility to know if your player is injured, and we've talked about front office for like weeks now, but I'm going to continue to harp it because it's something that's not hitting home apparently. It's on Philadelphia, the 76ers, not the NBA. It's on the 76ers to say, look, dog, I get you want your award, but dog, you can't fucking jump. Like, what are we doing? Sit down.
I hear you when you say that.
Go ahead.
What do you say to Tyrese Halliburton then?
To a Tyrese Halliburton, what's his exact quote? So I don't fuck him up.
Tyrese Halliburton is in a similar situation to Joel Embiid. He's running up on games missed. The difference is I think he'll miss like $41 million in a contract if he doesn't play.
Now when it's affecting the bread, that's entirely different. I will say that. If that makes me a hypocrite, that makes me contradictory, then go for it. But when it's affecting dollars, I've personally never even been a fan of that shit. I think one of the biggest crimes in NBA history that nobody talks about is Clay getting hoed out of Supermax. I thought that was fucking ridiculous. So when it comes to the bread, if they're literally like, oh, you got to play 65 games to get paid, I'm all for getting that the fuck up on out of here because I think, hey, you're paid as much as loyalty to the team and in terms of like being there for tenure to unlock a supermax and talent. I don't think if a team doesn't want to pay you because of your health, that's fine. But mandating that shit via the 65 game thing, I'm all with Reese there. If he's losing dollars because he's not playing, that's fucked up. He means everything to that franchise. I'm all for that. But if we're talking just for like, and I don't want to belittle this because it's easy to say from the sidelines as a person not playing, but in terms of a player who like dedicates their life to basketball, you can care about this. But like when we're talking about materialistic things like an MVP award, dog, I'm sorry. You got to see the bigger picture and sit down. Or if you don't see that, then it's on your franchise to tell you, yo, sit down. Now, if you're in Tyrese's situation, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a hypocrite. Fuck that. Hey, what's up though? Are you gonna compensate me? How are you gonna compensate me? What we gonna do about my check? I'm all for that. That's a fantastic point. I have none for that. Go ahead.
He is 4 games away from losing out on $40 million with a hamstring injury, and we know hamstring injuries can come. You know, they can come and go and come and go and come and go.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say with Joel Embiid, I don't think this is I know everybody wants to blanket it as this is an MVP thing. I think every player that has an issue with this, it is about the money that they're making. Damn the MVP, it's for all awards. All awards is affected by the 65 game thing. In every award, everything that you can get, go towards your next contract. So, and I said this when we talked about it last time. That's why I feel for Joel Embiid in this situation. Damn the MVP. He's trying to make all team NBA, and I don't know his contract. Check his contract to make sure I'm not capping. My word is not law. I'm just going by based off what I know about basketball and how this shit works. But I would not be surprised if in his contract, just like with Reese, he has a stipulation to where he has to make all team, or he has to make a certain team NBA, a certain defensive team, whatever it is, whatever accolades outside of MVP, just he would be eligible for. He's not eligible for any of them. So not just Reese is missing out on 40. Joel could be missing out on 40. Every other NBA player who is in their contract with those type of stipulations can be missing out on whatever money. And guys who are approaching the end of their deals and need to re-up, they're also going to be suffering and not being able to be paid as much. Guys are not going to be getting super maxes if they can't play, which, I mean, for some people, they're going to be like, hey, that's fine. But I'm calling bullshit on guys who genuinely, they can't help. You can't help your body not being right, especially a guy like Joel, who he's coming up on. This is his 9th season. Next year will be 10 years in the NBA for Joel Embiid. He ain't never had a fucking healthy season. You know what you're getting with Joel. Joel has never had a healthy season in the NBA. Why are we taxing him for when he is playing? He's playing like one of the best basketball players in the world, and he's giving his all. He's not taking off on fucking playoff games. Joel Embiid is playing with torn meniscus in the playoffs. He just played in the regular season with it. If I see a guy trying to go on the court and give their all, I'm not about to knock you for missing games for real. That's bullshit that Joel's eventually, from what it looks like, and I got to see if he re-upped on his deal or whatever it is. I'm pretty sure when his contract's up at this rate, he's not going to make the money he's supposed to get. You're going to look around, and in the NBA, a nigga like Nick Claxton is going to be making twice as much as Joel Embiid, and we're going to be looking like, what the fuck is going on? Joel can't, his body cannot stay healthy.
Yeah, I want to speak again, not because I want to hog the limelight, but because I want to be very clear. I honestly, I'm gonna be blunt. Y'all got casual sage here. I did not know, or I don't know, and you guys can correct me here, if it's about your last season in regards to Supermax, or is it's about ever. I'm kind of blanking on that right now. Like, if I don't know if Joel Embiid's at stake ever super, am I making sense? Like Joel Embiid, I don't know if he's played 65, so fair enough. But if Joel Embiid has played 65 in the past and he's hit all NBA before, is it that will allow him to get a supermax, or is it you have to have 4 straight or 3 straight appearances, or your last season in your contract year you have to, you know what I'm saying? I hope I'm wording this the right way. But if it's about especially the most recent season, that's the most hold shit of all time. I'm 180.
Let me read you on 2 people, and then let Bezos get some.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mic time. No. All right. So
I thought you were gonna read first.
Oh no, I'm waiting for the. Anyway, nothing. So I got the Yahoo Sports article pulled up here. These are the facts about Tyrese Halliburton. Halliburton signed a 5-year max contract last offseason that goes into effect next season. It's worth a base of $204.5 million. but will go up to more than $245 million if he makes an All NBA roster in the last year of his rookie deal, which is this season.
Yeah, that's yeah, okay. That's what I was fearful of. Yeah, that's bullshit. I don't even know how you argue that. If he were to, God forbid, knock wood right now, obviously, he like has a season-ending injury, you're telling me he's not worth the contract. I've never been for that, so I'm not gonna change that tune now because I want players playing more.
And mind you, he could miss 4 games. Like he could legitimately miss 4 more, just 4 more, and then be like right as rain healthy for the rest of the season and the playoffs and all that, but still would miss out. Joel Embiid's injury history. Just want to put this out here. This one is missing one. I know this one is missing one for a fact. Torn left meniscus his rookie season. Despite having a sensational rookie campaign in 2016-17, yeah, he ended it after just 31 games because that's when he tore his left meniscus. He had left knee soreness in 2019. But I also remember when they played the Hawks in the playoffs, he had a partially torn meniscus. Now, I haven't clarified if that's in the same knee, if it's in the left one. 2021, left knee bruise, which made him miss time. And then this current knee injury right here.
Damn.
I think I'm still for the 65 game thing for awards like MVP and Defensive Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year. But I do think when it's I'm not as for it when it comes to all NBA teams because of everything that we discussed. Like it affects dollars, specifically dollars associated more so to your market value, and missing out on 40 mil even though your market value suggests something else is kind of crazy. So yeah, the whole thing is just an unfortunate tale. And for me, my biggest takeaway with this whole thing has always been with every single rule. There's just a give and take, unfortunately. There's pros and cons. Clearly, the load managing thing has been a concern for the NBA over the last 4 to 5 years. Every single year we have these discussions. The NBA finally does something about it. And this is why they probably have been hesitant on the trigger, is because during the conversations that they have within the NBA, within the NBPA and all of that, like these are the concerns that maybe players had. You know, now we're forcing players to play to a certain threshold, forcing their bodies to do shit that they shouldn't be doing. Like I remember in 2017, the Celtics forcing Isaiah Thomas to play as much as he did through the injury. How much slack and how much, how much people were mad at the Celtics front office for forcing Isaiah Thomas to play back then. And I'm like, with the conversation about Embiid over the last week, not that that's all what it is, but it is giving a little bit of agenda pushing when it comes to, see, this is what's wrong with the award. Like in literally every single other year, you would blame the front office for playing a player, especially of Joel Embiid's caliber, while he's injured, specifically when Joel Embiid has been injury prone throughout his career. Like that's not something the front office should do. But now, because the conversation is what it is, now it's all about the 65 game rule. Like I don't think that's fair to everyone involved. So
I just don't know how you fix this without just abolishing the rule altogether. I was listening to Gilbert Arenas and Cheryl Swoops talk about Caitlin Clark breaking the scoring record, the all-time NCAA scoring record in women's college. And they were wrong about this when they said it, but they were like, oh, well, some of these kids got it, like, she got a COVID year. So if she does it in 5, whereas the previous one did it in 4, then it should be a whole different category. And that's kind of what Draymond was saying about his award. If he could do it this way, but now he wouldn't count if he did it back then in that same fashion. Why should it, like, we should just start changing everything up. Keep it the same. Keep the way records track the same. Make a new category. Pick 2 if that's what it takes. Pick 2 MVPs. Pick an honorary all NBA player or something. But if this is putting people in position. Oh, and I wanted to correct Damo on that too. I know you said he was wrong, but you were also wrong, Draymond Green, when you were like, He played.
Oh yeah, Kawhi played 64.
Different year. You talking about the wrong year. You talking about the wrong year, Dumbo.
There's 2 years Kawhi won DPOY. One was 70 games. Other one was 64.
The other one was 64, in which he would have not been eligible for the award. So when you put players in a position to say to themselves and say to the organization, "No, I'm playing," to sacrifice their body, I mean that's so old. That's you know what I'm saying? That's 90s football. It's early 2000s football. That's Toradol. That's hella horse tranquilizers. That's all that other stuff that they used to be doing back then, because that's what they did back then. No, I'm playing, and I'm playing through whatever I got going on. But this is a man who, I mean, from what it sounded like from Draymond, it looked like he shouldn't have. It was pretty clear he shouldn't have been out there from the jump. And he went out there from the jump.
I seen it. I ain't gonna lie. Like I'll toot my own horn when I actually do tune in sometimes. A lot of it I was working out, doing extra shit. But I ain't gonna lie. I was like, that nigga is not jumping the whole time. I'm like, he's not moving right. I didn't want him out there. And the abolishment of the rule, it may have to go somewhere along the lines of just getting rid of the financial implication. Now, obviously, we're talking in fantasy land because that seems like a very noble thing to do. And unfortunately, we're in a world that's not that noble. So not going to happen. But that would be the only solution, because at that point, then you could easily argue, if they had no financial implications, that, yeah, players are trying to be greedy to immortalize their names or whatever, and they're putting their health above that. But when you're talking about making bottom line, making dollars, at the end of the day, dog, it's going to sound crazy for people that play 2K, for people that don't really assess how important millions of dollars are. But yeah, I would like that. I would like an extra 40 mil. So I can't really get on these players' ass for that.